Hi guys, Essex Electrical Training here again, and we're continuing on with trunking. Last time we did a comparatively simple bend. I've taken all the bolts out of it now, but anyway, that's the bend that we did. Right angle, you know, fairly simple. And I did say that the electrical wholesalers, they'll usually cut, you know, keep right angle bends, and you've probably even got a few on your van. But what happens when you need to bend the trunking and the wholesalers don't stock those bends? They don't stock 45 degrees. So we've said that the trunking was going to go up like that, obviously, but let's say that you're running it, and let's run it a different way this time. Last time we bent it that way. Let's say that it's above a full ceiling or something and it's mounted that way. So what it's done, it's going along and you've come to an obstruction like that. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to do a right angle and then a right angle over it. What you want to do is you want to do a 45 degrees so that your trunking will go like that. It'll bend like that and then it will bend like that. Obviously you can do a 45 here, and then what would happen is the 45 would bend up like that, and you can mark it where it goes to the top of the obstruction, and then you can do a 45 again. You can do that, but it's much easier to mark the whole thing up and cut the whole thing as a one-piece work. So that's what we'll do. Let's say it's coming along here and it wants to jump up this high. So first of all, what is the height? Well, that is 117. Let's call it 118. It's 118. So your trunking has got to come along and bend up 118 and then level off again. So how do we go about doing that? Well, we want to do it all as one piece. So let's do the first 45 degrees. So what I'm going to do, as I did before last time, no thinking involved. All you're doing is you're going around, putting a line where the corner of the bend you want it to be. So it's the corner of the bend. So all I'm going to do is go along here and I'm going around and like that. No thinking involved. Oh, that's good. Okay. So, when we did a 90-degree bend, if you remember, I said it's 50mm trunking. So what we did is we went 50mm either side of that line. But now it's a 45 degree. So what you do is instead of going 50 either side of the line, you go half that, 25. So what I'm going to do is go 25 either side of that line. 25 either side of that line. And again, no thinking involved. I'm just going to go around there. I've not got to think about where it's going to bend and whatever. Okay, so, but I want to do that in one piece. I'd like to mark it all up at the same time, and I'd like to cut it all at the same time. So how do I know that I've got to jump up 118, how can I do that? As I said before, I could make that bend up and then mark it where it goes up. It's much easier to do the whole thing as one piece. So therefore, what do we do? There's one answer to it, and I don't want you to all run. Stay there. Do not switch off when I say the word trigonometry. Okay, trigonometry. Here we have a board. Trigonometry. We have some officers have auburn hair. Hold on. It's because I'm doing it slow. Some officers have curly auburn hair. Curly auburn hair till old age. Some officers have curly auburn hair till old age. Put our lines in like that. There's a line that goes there, there's a line that goes there, that. That's an equal sign, that's an equal sign, that's an equal sign. And that is the three sides of a triangle. So what we've got is we've got our trunking, and it comes along, it's going along like that. And then what we want it to do is we want it to go up and then carry along. And there's the obstruction that we've got, our timber is there. So if we look, that is a triangle. And we know that side is 118. That side is 118. What we want to know is how long that side needs to be, because that length is going to be the length between two corners of our bends. So what we need is to mark this up first. It's always from this angle. So that side, the side that we know 118, is the opposite. That side, which is running along the front, is the adjacent. And that is the hypotenuse. That is, so we need one of these that's going to include two of the knowns and one unknown. So therefore, we want to know the opposite, and we've got the opposite, and we want to know the hypotenuse, and we've got that angle. So we look at one of these, what has the opposite and the hypotenuse. So it's a sign, the opposite and the hypotenuse. And we've got that angle. So we've got that, we've got the opposite, we've got that, but we need to know that. So we have to, as you going back to your college, you need to transpose that equation. So your brain remembers pictures and actions much better than it does facts and figures. So therefore, I'm at this angle here. There's the opposite. There, if I'm looking at the sign, there is the sine, and underneath me is the hypotenuse, which I've marked as the adjacent. So what we do is we quickly change that. It's the hypotenuse. There it is. There it is. There's the hypotenuse. Okay. So there's the sine. There's the sine. There's the hypotenuse. So that's the sine. I am the equation. Opposite on top. There's the sine. There's the hypotenuse. So what I'm going to do is imagine the action. I'm straining to keep this sine up. My arm's going dead. Oh, I can't keep it anymore. I'm going to have to let it go, and it comes down like this. It comes down. I've rested it. So now this is a triangle. There, opposite at the top, sine, hypotenuse. So therefore, all this goes into a triangle. Opposite at the top, and sine and hypotenuse there. That's the opposite. All goes into a triangle. Now, when it's in a triangle, it's really easy to deal with, because all you have to do is cover up the one you don't know. As I've said, we know the opposite. We know that angle, it's the sine, but we want to find the length of that. So we cover it up, and the hypotenuse will equal the opposite over the sine. So the opposite is 118. The sine, you just press sine in your mobile phone, does it now? You put a sine in there, and then 45, and it will come up, and the answer will be 7 0.707. Okay, so all you do is 118 divided by 0.707, and that will give you, so we do it on here, I can take my hat off now. We'll do that, so it is 118 divided by 0.707 gives me 166.9. So we say 167. So that is going to be between there and there. What's that I hear you say? You want it even easier? Oh my God. Well, if you think about it, it's always going to be a sine, always. So all you've got to remember now is the height of the obstruction that you want to get over onto. You divide that by 0.707, and that gives you the distance. Our distance was 167, so therefore between the centre points, because it's, remember, between the two corners, it is, I forgot it again, 167, so that's 167, 167 is there, 167 is there, so I'll make it easier. Go between 267. So that's on the centre line. 267 is there. So that is our next point. And again, we go into the same routine, no thinking involved. I'm just going to do lines all the way around, and then another line, 25mm either side of that centre line. So we've got this. So now this is the only bit of thinking that we have to get involved with. As I've said to you before, then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a point. This, if we take this section out like that, then that trunking will bend up. If I try to take that section up like that, then that trunk will bend that way. But what we do is we have a think about it. The point usually faces the bend, so it's opposite to the bend. So what we're doing is this one's going to come like that. We need that trunking to go up like that. So in other words, that has got to come up like that. So that is correct. We'd have to take that section out. So we'll do it as a section first. I'm just going to go between there and there. Let's see. So that's there. That's there. And of course it's coming up, so we have to do the other side. So therefore it'll be between there and there. And there and there. So what I'm going to do is exactly the same as I did before. I'm going to shade the parts that I need to take out, rather than, you know, mess around and get it all wrong and start cutting. That's the last thing you need to do. So what I'm going to do is that's going to bend up. That's going to be my corner point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that section out. That corner would have to be coming. Would have to come out. Just that edge, and the whole of that actually. And then what I'm going to do is that is going to come out. And again, that edge there is all going to have to come out. So that's it. I've marked it up. So this one has got to be the opposite. So that one's going to bend that way. So now I need that one to bend that way. So therefore, it will be the opposite of those. So what I'm going to do is take that out. So that'll be between there and there, roughly. These measurements, they, you know, and marking up and all that sort of thing, it can take a long, long time doing all this, but it's no point. It's, chunking's pretty flexible stuff. So that's that. Take this one out. And now for the cutting. So what you want to do is just tackle one really. I do this one first because then it's if you do that one, it all flops around. So what I'm going to do is just go straight across this one. So that's the whole piece marked out. So obviously what I've got to do is I've got to take this lip out, that lip out, and then take the edges of that lip there, that lip there, and that lip there. So those two edges are out. As I say, I'm a bit of an old boy, so I'm a filing man, so I am going to file. Except this one. No, I won't file this one. It's if I put it in the vise, I mean, you're very rarely going to have a vise on site anyway. But what I'll do is I'll just take that out to 2 steps. It's a lot easier. So I will take those out. That's that one there. That one there. Take that one over there. And that one there. That's why I don't like using sticks, so I've got to be honest, because what it does, it bends the material out, which is a bit awkward. But anyway, just straighten that back out. Bend this one in. And then of course what we've got to do is file it all. So, the only other one we've got to do is we've got to file that side up. I've just got to file these corners off so we can get that to bend into the other material. And as I said before, what I'm going to do is my little axle cut just along that line, just to help it bend in. We're going to paint it afterwards. I'm not going all the way through. That'll do us. And so that's that. Now, what you'll notice, okay, so what you'll notice is that I kept those bits. Why? Because what I'm going to do, you've got to be careful. Don't drop them on the floor because you know they could stand up to be dangerous. But I'm going to file them both sides. Just give them a rough file because they are going to be useful to me. So what we do is we'll get this one out of the way first because it's flimsy. It's only being held on together by the lid. So what we need to do is we need to, you know, fold that in. And this is where these come in useful. Because what you do, if I put that one in there like that, that one in there like that, then it folds in easy, easy. So that's it like that. And then take those out. Take those out. And that's my first 45. So what I'll do is I'll just make sure it's 45. And, oh, that's not too bad. Yeah, so we're about 45 there, so that's okay. So what I'm going to do is, this is where it takes a bit of brute strength, I'm afraid, but the axle cut that you made earlier does help. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that on there like that. These are weird, but I'm sure other firms make them. They're really useful because they've got a flat head on the top, which is really useful. So let's just make sure that's 45. Oh. So it'll be 45 like that, about there, about there, see about there. So what I'm going to do now is file it up. So that, remember our lid will be in here, it is in there. So what I'll choose to do is I'm going to do it on that line because it's a nice centre line for me. So through there. Put that bolt in first so it doesn't drift around. So I'll just check. That's it, that's fine. There's your obstruction. There's your trunking. Look at that. Not a lot wrong with that. Okay. So obviously lid. Yeah, you're just literally cutting a point. And again, I'll do those with tin snips. It's a lot easier. You can measure it up if you want. It's not a problem. So that's going up there like that. That's going up there like that. That's going to continue along. So, that's going to be the point there. But again, what you could do is, what was that temperature last? Measurement last time, 167. So it should be 167 again. Tape measure. 167. Just check. Okay, so that's pretty much there, and what we'd do is, I'll just super safety, but what I would do is, you know, personally I'd put a couple of fixings in there, okay, you know, yeah, I think I would do that. What we'll do is, so that is a 3.5 drill, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do clearance holes in the lid, which is what we want. Clearance hole through there, clearance hole through there, and then where it's marked on the inside here, then what you want, that was those ones, is drill and tap it. So just a bit of using a 4mm tap, because we're using 4mm bolts, just a little bit of the old stuffo just then to ease it on, and then I'm going to put a tap in there. Tap in there like that. A couple of 4mm bolts. Sort of ship shape and Bristol fashion. That would be a bit further down, so what I'll do is I'll just give that a little tap with a Birmingham screwdriver, they call this. I don't know. That's it, just there like that. Okay. And so there is our original climbing over the obstruction. We marked it out all before, so it is nice and easy to do, sits on there nicely, and it would carry on. Okay, thanks very much guys. This has been the Essex Electrical Training. Let's be careful out there.